Felt sensation is one of the most important things that you need to implement into your vocal practice to get from effortful to effortless. Hello, my name is Michelle. I am a classically trained multi-genre vocalist and the creator of the vocal organization method for expression, where we reach our complete vocal authorship. So, what I mean by felt sensation is that the last thing that you want to be doing when you are practicing is listening to yourself for desired tone. Desired tone is what the listener is going to be hearing when you sing. The reason why we really want to avoid listening to yourself as a gauge is because wherever you are in the room, it's always going to change. The acoustics of your house are going to be different from the acoustics of a practice room if you're in the practice room, the acoustics of a church if you sing for church, the acoustics of the recording studio. So we have to understand that that form of calibrating, it's unreliable. So what is reliable? Bone conduction and felt sensation. Okay, first of all, let's talk about felt sensation. When you have a felt sensation, you are singing, and like right now I'm speaking and I can feel that my voice is vibrating up against this front part of my body. I am supporting myself through engaging my hip muscles, and I am sustaining the breath that I need to deliver this phrase through engaging my pelvic floor, right? These are felt sensations. Part of the work that we have to do as vocalists is train our awareness of these felt sensations. A lot of the times we kind of just want to muscle our way through it however we want to do it, and that leads us to having an inconsistent support, because we're not actually paying attention to the mechanics of what's happening to the body. We're just trying to get something out there, right? Where if you are in phase one of singing, of your singing identity, and you're going to get into the over efforting, right? Because first we have to decide that we want to sing, and there's a lot of stuff that comes with that we have to do. Once you get to that point, that's where we train our muscles and the subtle micro muscles of the body to be able to lean on them as necessary. So that is your felt sensation. Another form of felt sensation is bone conduction. When we're singing, you have to remember that we stabilize the breath first, because we're not used to paying attention to the sensations of the body. Right? When you're going from stage one, which I call a silenced voice, into the over efforting voice, there is that first where like we are just trying to get whatever we can out there, and we're making the journey into here, which leads us to over efforting. It's a totally normal phase, right? It's a very expected phase, right? That over efforting phase is exactly when you go to someone like me, and then we help you organize everything so that you can get into your phase three, the organized voice. Okay, so in order for us to rely on bone conduction, we have to remember that the breath is always the prerequisite for the resonance distribution, which is bone conduction. We have to remember that when we're breathing, it's something that is being summoned from deep within us, and it's coming through here and out, and it's resonating throughout the bones. We never want to think that our voice comes from here, because if you imagine this, you decapitate yourself and you're looking down, there's like a whole thing that I forget what it's called, where they stick a little camera down your throat to see how your vocal folds are functioning. If you were to decapitate yourself, all you would hear from here is a pure tone. The reason that we have words and notes and all that is because the sound is coming out and it's resonating inside of our face. Okay? So when we are when we are relying on bone conduction, you will feel the sensations here. And especially when you are singing, you will hear this upper buzz. That's what we're going for. That's something that opera singers lean on to be able to project over an orchestra. And that does not mean that they are over here like screaming their heads off. They are being smart singers, not hard singers. So working smart, not hard, right? And so that's the difference between our stage 2 of the efforting singer into stage 3 of the organized singer. Because once we get our breath and resonance organized, we are the organized singer, and now we're singing smart. Once we're singing smart, now we have a way to start going into the authored voice, which is our 4th phase. Leaning on that bone conduction feeling, it's going to sound ugly to you, right? If we're bringing this all back from the first point that I made, it's going to sound ugly. It's going to sound really, it's not going to be the best for you. And you have to remember that when we're singers, we have to give. We are giving our voice. We are sharing our voice. So when you are singing, you have to make it less about you when it comes to tone wise, and making it about yourself of like, do I sound right? Do I, right? And instead, am I vibrating, right? Am I resonating? Am I resonating other people? Okay? Because when you rely on that bone conduction, the listener feels it in their body. They have a very corporeal reaction to it. This is where people start feeling emotional when they hear you sing. They get chills. They feel transported. That's when you know you've reached your stage 4 of authorship, when you are creating impact on the listener. But we have to remember that the impact is for the listener. The healing part for us is all the work that we do to get to that point. The body awareness, the unlocking of the voice, all of that leads so that we can make an impact on others. Okay? So making sure we're relying on felt sensations and not listening to ourselves, trying to enjoy our own voice. You are enjoying the feeling of being an organized vessel for transmission and for impact on others. Okay? That's all I have for you today. Let me know what you think about that.